There's the kind of workout that when you finish, you're like, ooh, I can do anything. I feel, ooh, I'm so energized. I'm ready for the day. And then there's the kind of workout where you just want to stay in the floor. You just want to keep laying in the floor. The class is over and you can't even get up. Next class is starting and you're still laying in the floor in a pool of sweat trying to figure out how you're going to finish the rest of your day. I don't want a business that's like the second part. I want to be in a business where I put in work, but at the end of the day I feel great. I love what I accomplished. I love that even if I had a challenge, I figured it out and I overcame it. That's the kind of day that I want to have. I think about the people that I helped. I think about how I can grow and do more of it on scale. I want that kind of business, not one where every day I am exhausted. I'm laid out in the floor and I'm thinking about, and I have to do this again tomorrow. But if that's the feeling that you're having, you should pay attention to that. It's trying to teach you something. Something about what you're doing is not a flow. It's something that you're forcing. If the roller coaster of emotions that you're feeling as you're trying to start your own business has you so hopeless that you are really discouraged from continuing, in this video, I'll talk about how to use your feelings to frame your next steps in your business instead of frustrate them. I do apologize for the lawn work going on in my subdivision, but we press on. Hi, I'm Vanessa Harris, and welcome back. Yeah, it's real. Starting a business is real, especially as a mom. There's already a lot on your plate, a lot of things that you are thinking about and feel like you're the only one who's thinking about them. Mom knows everything. Ask mom, she knows the answer. Ask mom, she'll take care of it. And when you're already that person, whether you're a stay-at-home mom or you're a mom working outside the home, or any permutation of what motherhood looks like these days, and then you want to throw in starting your own business and heading up and being the leader of that enterprise, there's a lot of emotions that come with that. There's the guilt of, am I going to be taking too much of myself away from my children, and what is that going to cost them? There's the nervousness about whether or not you'll be able to come through for the clients and customers that you're trying to have. Are you going to serve them in an excellent way like you'd like to? There's the feeling of worry about how this will wear on you over time. Like, we all think we're super women, but we know deep down when we are really grinding ourselves to a halt. And so we're wondering, what is this going to cost me personally? How am I going to pay for it with my health and with my well-being? And am I going to be able to turn this business around so that I can now reclaim some more of my time and delegate things to other people? Like, there are a lot of things that you're considering and weighing out. And then there's the reality that, until you start, take steps toward building the business and putting your product out there and marketing and all the things, you don't know really how it's going to go. It is an adventure, and it's something that you have to do to see the feedback and to see how people receive it and to see how they respond and how well it takes off. And all of that takes time. And there are a myriad, a gamut, a glut, a ton of emotions that you feel as you go through the process. And if you don't manage them well, then you'll find yourself being so discouraged about the whole thing that you give up on it. And that frightens you too. So then there's the feeling of fear, because you're doing this in front of your children and you want your children to see that, yeah, hey, mom's a great mom, but mom is also great at other things. And look how she went and tried that. And look how it's taken off. You're doing it in front of your children, and you want to be successful, not just for yourself, not just to be able to teach them that, hey, if mom can do it, you can do things like this too. But you're also doing it with legacy in mind. We talk a lot here on this channel about we do what we do with intentionality because we're looking to the future and the legacy that we can leave behind that will impact our families for generations. There are a lot of things that you're thinking about, and with those thoughts come a lot of feelings, right? And those need to be managed, and not managed like put away, tucked away, I'll just deal with it later, or I don't want to think about it. Managed as in what is what can this teach me? Not just overwhelm me. What can it teach me? Because there's a reason that you're feeling the feeling, right? Feelings are not burdens. They're signals. The same way that the dashboard on your car has signals, and you like them to be certain colors most of the time, but sometimes they change colors, or the you know the level changes and this and that, and then it comes to your attention because now it's red and you have to make an adjustment. Well, your feelings do the same. They either tell you do more of this, that's working out great, it feels good to you, do more of that, or no, let's rethink this because this is not really working out and we're not really feeling it. And so we need to pay attention to it. What we don't want to do is be run by our feelings, because our feelings give us information, but they should not give us direction. We should not just do things just because we feel a way. We should take how we feel into consideration, but we're making decisions based on a lot of other factors as well. And so the feelings should be part of the information that you use, but they shouldn't be put in a place where they're allowed to torment you to the point where you either make no move or you make the wrong move because you wouldn't stop and pay attention to what the feeling was trying to teach you. So let's talk about that. Yeah, the feelings that you're having, particularly if it's that this is not working out. Like, there was a mom that I saw comment on a video that I was watching, and she had a lot of frustrations, but one of them was she had been at this mom business, being a mom and trying to start a business game for 5 years, and it wasn't working. And she talked about what she tried, and it had gotten to the point now where she just felt like, I don't know if I have anything to offer. Like, she just was so discouraged to the point where she doubted that she had anything good to offer. When at some point 5 years ago, she clearly thought she had something to offer, that she had something to contribute to people who had a certain pain point. And so, I it inspired this video because I remember being at that place. I remember being a stay-at-home mom, and okay, I have things I want to say, I have things I understand, I have things that I know that I help people with in my day-to-day life. And hey, let me put it in a book, or let me put it in a podcast, or let me put it on a YouTube channel. And these are all different types of ventures, but the success and the journey of getting these things out to people, and the learning curve of what it requires, and marketing, and all the things that I'm not trained in. I'm a pediatrician. I'm not trained in marketing. And so the learning curve for all of these things was extremely discouraging. It was easier for me to learn how to self-publish my books than it was for me to get those books in front of paying customers. And so I know what it's like to feel like this whole thing was pointless. I mean, I'm glad I said what I said because I'm passionate about what I said, and I know that it matters, and I know that it's helpful, and I know that it's helped many people. But this whole thing about trying to get it to the masses and get it to, like, I'm over it. And I had to really get a handle on, okay, I can't let how I feel about how it's going dictate my whole trajectory, or else there would not have been a podcast, and there would not be this channel, and there would not have been subsequent books. And so one of the things that you want to consider especially if the feeling is, this is not working. I'm doing it the way the people say, I've taken the course, I've read the books, I've listened to the podcast, like, and I've followed the directions. I got the lead magnet, I downloaded it, I paid for it, like whatever it is. And I did what they said, and it's not working. You got to ask yourself, am I doing the right business? Because, you're not a dummy. You can read, you can follow directions, you have gone through school, and you understand that these people that you have bought the courses from, they're teaching you what they know, and it has worked for them. Okay, it has worked for them. You are hoping that it will work for you. It's a valid hope, but it requires that you well enough to know if their method is something that would work in your life based on who you are. Because they wanted what they're doing because it's them doing it. They had a journey where they tried a whole lot of other ways that didn't work, and then this is what they found that worked, and it worked for them. And they're assuming, because that's a common business model. Will it work for me? I'll teach somebody else, and it might. And for people who are very much like them, right? No two people are exactly alike, but for people who are very similar, they have a similar wiring, they have a similar temperament. When they go to apply that same thing, it does work for them. And here you come, and you see their ad, or you come across their YouTube video, and they're talking some stuff that sounds good to you, and in your mind you're like, well, I can do that, right? Oh, there are a lot of things that you can do, there are a lot of things that are possible for all of us, but is it beneficial? Is it what's best for us? Are we best suited to do it? And it's not until we do try and we do apply the information that we've learned that we find out, and often it's first by feelings, that we're like, this does not feel right. It's not working. I've done what they said. I'm not getting the results, and I'm starting to feel bad about myself. Like, I'm feeling like I can't. Well, can I not read? Can I not comprehend? Can I not understand what's going on? Can I not follow directions? Am I not working hard enough? And you are. You are working hard enough. But what it is that everybody isn't good at the same things. Everybody isn't wired the same way. Some people have natural, no, not some people, everybody has a certain set of capabilities, perspectives, natural tendencies. They have a certain way, it's called temperament. It's a certain way that they reason through things. It's how they make decisions, how they think through and make decisions. There's a certain way that they relate to people easily or not. There's a certain way that they respond to circumstances, especially if it's a surprise, if they have to pivot. There are different ways that people respond in those situations. And their differences also dictate how well they're able to implement certain strategies. Because if the strategy is natural to how they normally operate, then it's easy for them to fold that into and implement it in their business. If it's not, then they either have to learn a skill that maybe they can pick up, or it's something that they'll have to learn a lot of things that really require them to become a different person for the length of time that they run that business. If you are someone who likes words, but you are stronger as a writer than you are as a speaker, and so you can write a book with ease, but then people say, okay, well, to promote your book, you need to go out and you need to speak at all the places. Well, if you're not comfortable speaking, and you've never been comfortable speaking, and you have gone through 1st through 12th grade like everybody else, and it required you to speak in front of the class, and every time you did, it was awful, but asked you to write an essay, and the essay is fabulous. I mean, if you know that about yourself, then to have a strategy or a business model that locks you in to speaking regularly, and where you are speaking so regularly that you're actually not writing as much. It wouldn't make any sense. And it's not something that you would do very long. And it would make perfect sense that you feel terrible doing it, that it feels exhausting, that it feels frustrating, that it is absolutely not fun. And it wouldn't be because you've never enjoyed speaking. You've never been comfortable speaking. Your groove is writing. And so how you need to get the word out about your book is by more writing, is to be featured in articles, is to be in other places where the way you flow can shine. Now, does that mean you never speak anywhere? No, of course, you have to speak in life. But you wouldn't build a whole marketing model on speaking if speaking is something that you have dreaded or fumbled through. Extensive speaking your entire life, you wouldn't build a model on that. And I know what you're saying. Well, you should go and take courses on, you should do Toastmasters, and you should do a speaking course on how to be a better speaker. You can do that. And you can spend that money, you can spend that time to really invest in that skill, but it depends on what your priorities are. Do you have the time to invest as a mom, right? And with whatever other responsibilities you have, maybe you care for your parents as well as your own children. And now you're trying to start a business. I mean, your time is limited. Do you really have time to spend investing in learning how to speak and be comfortable speaking and be convincing speaking and speak in a way to create sales for your book on top of writing, which is what you do to really make money and what you enjoy? How many hours do you have? And what is that activity, spending that much time, what is that costing you when it comes to your children, your husband? What is it costing you when it comes to your other responsibilities? If you are a social butterfly, if you have been talking since you came out of the womb, you babbled nonstop, you got in trouble in school for talking all the time, you were the most popular kid in school, you were most likely to do this, that, and the third, all that stuff. If you're trying to start a business that's going to require a whole lot of reading a computer screen and looking at reports, that's not, you're not, I don't care how much money you make at that, you're going to hate it. And even if you were first excited when you heard about it, you watched a video and somebody was talking about this and that, and you should do AI and whatever they're talking about, and you thought, okay, that sounds fun, I'm going to do that. But then you go see what is required, and it requires you to minimize how you normally are every place else in your life, minimize to a minuscule part of who you are. It's not going to work. And you're going to feel terrible doing it. And if you keep doing it, you're going to feel terrible about yourself. You want to have a business that makes the most use of how you're naturally wired so that it's a flow. I mean, starting a business is always going to be a lot of work. That's the nature of it. It's work that you are doing. It's not a job that somebody else created for you. You're just stepping into and you're just doing that part. You are responsible for the whole show. The whole show of the business is you. You're starting it. And so, yeah, it's going to take a lot of time as it is. Do you want to make it take extra time by you having to learn a lot of skills just to even get it off the ground? Now, build your business on what you're best at. If you have to add things later on, great. Or better yet, you can delegate those things to someone else. But the bread and butter of your business should be what you're already good at. So I'm not talking about it should be fun times all the time. And if you're not smiling all the time, then it's not the right business or it's not for you. What I'm saying is if you are regularly exhausted, regularly discouraged, if you're to the point where you're like this lady and you're doubting if you're intelligent, if you have something to offer, because for years you have been trying to do this thing and you've taken people's courses and you've been mentored and it's not clicking. It's not clicking because it's not for you. And you need to get clear on what it is about you that is special, distinct, and of value to people around you. Something that you do with ease, that other people don't do with ease, that you can monetize. That's what you need to get your finger on. And if you're the woman who was bold enough to start your business, but you don't feel very confident running it, it's probably because you got stuck in the comparison trap, taking your cues from everyone else and how they are running their business. If you want to get free from that, I encourage you to click the link below for my founder reframe so that you can see there's more than one way to run a business and you'll figure out yours. Now let's get back to the video. But to start, you got to pay attention to the signs. If the lights are flashing on the dashboard, don't ignore it. Don't just say, I'll deal with it later. Figure it out now. And one of the things that you probably need to consider is, am I doing the right type of business? Or is the work that I'm doing in the business the work I should be doing? So all of us we're all talented in some way. We're all gifted in some way. We're all wired in some way that God designed so that we are excellent at the things that we are here to do. And it's for you to discover what that is, lean into it, and love it. And is it going to be work? Of course it is. But if it's work that leaves you feeling energized and you're ready to do it again, then that's your sweet spot. That's what I encourage you to look at. Look in the description box below and see the resource that I have for you. Check that out. And until next time, I want you to remember this. There is more to you than you think. Go ahead and be curious about yourself and develop. Discover all those things that you may have not known before. Go ahead and be curious and discover what those things are so that you can continue to be a blessing and even be a greater blessing to yourself and to your family. Take care.